Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to have the opportunities to today's events. My name is Shoudao Zhang, and I'm so excited to share the experience with being implementation during my 5-year start in Tokyo from 2017 to 2022. Today's topic is development of being in Japan and international chain of digital transformation. So thank you for joining me and look forward and inside the section ahead. Okay, first of all, briefly introduce myself. To start, I lead head of Call for Taiwan, a company that provides innovation idea, knowledge, and suggestions to help any company with their digital transformation effort. I hold a Master of Science in Architect, which is obtained in 2008, and finished a 1-year MBA programs in English in Tokyo in 2017 to 2018. Currently, I'm working at CTCI, one of the largest engineering groups, where I am using my past experience to drive change in our industry. It's important to note that BIM is not the only important factor in AEC industry. Other key elements such as 19650, like to smart city, and the ESG are rapidly become core components. I have obtained the certifications in this area and believe they will be crucial in the future. Okay, review the past 5 years. I wanted to more interact with my audience. So would you feel the word would be different? Today, a lot of the presentation in previously, I want to ask some question for my audience. Have you tried to the ChatGPT? Have you tried to raise your hand? Okay, like to 75%. AI application? Okay, like to 10%. Okay. So, what was the working behavior change impact from after COVID-19, and who catch the light and make the transformations inner till now? So these three words, the change, impact, and transformations, would become the core values in my presentation today. So let's three words. I wish this is the gift, and I wish that can give you the consider and what you learn after today's section. Okay, this slide, a lot of Japanese, but in this slide, I would like to start to asking you and try to think about what stand out to you in this slide. In this slide, any kind of problem or confused? Okay, so let me get you the answer. There is a two element that might be unusual. The first of all is the logo of Amazon at the bottom, and the secondary is the vocabulary is the value chain. So in AEC industry, Amazon may not seem very relevant to us. They are primarily known from the book sale, e-commerce, or cloud service. And as the value chain, I remember first hearing this term of doing my MBA programs, such as the accounting and finance lecture. So I cannot get the connect to these two elements with my experience in AEC industry, but they are both present in this slide, right? So however, last year in August, and Amazon announced their cooperation with the AEC industry. 10 Japanese companies utilize Amazon AWS service, indicate that a new and exciting players had entering this field. So perhaps they have noticed us before because we were too slow, our industry is too slow or too traditional, or too elegant? This is my question I wanted to ask you and ask myself. Okay, move to the next slide. We see a word is very, very familiar to us. So, however, I'd like to remind you is BIM. It's BIM. So, but remind you this BIM, this very familiar word, everyone knows about that. But this slide is come from Amazon Japan, which is one of the major e-commerce platforms that had never taken any interest in AEC industry before. So that is a hint. Was there any big change involved? Then the industry change? The smartphone, of course. 10 years or 20 years ago, the smartphone tried to involve the marketing. So sometimes we overlook the key factor that drive progress due to our familiarity with certain experience. So Amazon, a non-AEC industry player, recognized a critical role of being in digital transformations of construction process. So this is a sign that we need to very, very carefully to consider the significance of being in the future. So briefly, summary. So what is your initial reaction when you found out the Amazon had entered in our industry and was talking about the BIM, the word of the BIM? Would you feel a little bit confused or depressed or fearless or motivation or exciting? Would anyone want to share? So if you want to share your feedback, you can have any comment after this presentation. So let me show you what the Japan discovered about this situation. Okay. So although this slide focuses on issue facing the construction industry in Japan, this discussion is also relevant worldwide. The first and third topic address the challenge of efficient working time and decrease the labor manpower, which impact the balance of resource in this industry. However, this topic also related to a tricky conflict because workflows are becoming more complication than before. In the past 20 years, our industry has relied on cheaper manpower, ignore is a crucial issue, and no awareness with preparing for the future. So moreover, the environmental impact have become a very critical issue that must be considered. So ESG, carbon emission, greenhouse gas, and water resource, and other environmental facts have significant power that could strike at any time if you are not prepared. So on the other hand, the life cycle of building are 30 to 50 years. That means the workable cities will include many old infrastructure. Therefore, the last part, the infrastructure need to updating and renewable to fit modern city behaviors. As new projects are relaxed and increase, and we need to consider that we should do and how we should face the challenge of decreasing resource impact in the future working style. So I start for this, I wanted to introduce a lot of use case and when I was in Japan. So 2 years ago, the Olympics caught everyone's attention, but the event was postponed for 1 year. The arena of, The video is okay? Okay. Okay, the arenas for the Olympics was designed and construct BIM technology from design and to construction phase. I invite you to watch this video showcase for this process together. In this video, we show how the curve BIM with one set was divided into 7 parts of assemble and leading up to the top. Okay, thank you. I would like to highlight the importance of utilize 4D simulation in BIM. While most BIM software use P6 schedule data to generate 4D simulation in Navisworks, right? But in this case, Shimizu, the 清水建设, Shimizu disagree. They disagree with this approach. They believe that this procedure can lead to input data error and risk because the mapping rules may not fit the project. Instead, Shimizu asked their engineers to directly insert the schedule data into the model, while double check it in Navisworks. This ensures that the P6 information is also updated automatic from BIM. Why I need to introduce like this case? Because this concept is similar to the ideas that BIM should cut the 2D drawing from the model rather than reference to the CAD results to establish the 3D model. So Shimizu refers to this approach as real BIM. By implementations this methodology, Shimizu can ensure that their BIM model is accurate and reliable as possible. In March 2020, the MAFF, in Japanese, I translate to the 中文 is the 农林协会. The MAFF institution collect many case and summary the significant phase of being used and connect the relationship between them. This report schedule sheet on the left side explain how they may plan and report the key factor they wanted to take into considerations. And furthermore, I want to stress attention to the phase from structure phase to construction. But in addition to usually phase, there are 2 more phases have been added. Here. Structure to construction and more to added phase. Okay, so the 2 added phase is processing and procurement. The Japan being used consider that CAM, processing and finance procurement can receive data from BIM. This report is very valuable because a lot of companies can use it as a reference to duplicate the methodology and results when implement their BIM technical. And continue the previous slide, I also like to introduce two more groups in added without the like to MAFF. The first group is the 国土交通省. So you can type the Chinese and to search this institution. And the other is the Revit user guide. The English is user group, the Revit user group. So, but I recommend that you do not use English to research for these two groups because you might end up with different web page. The Japanese tend to hide their less information with language gap to their strategy. So that is why I remind you or recommend you to try to use the Chinese, our advantage. The next, I'd like to share some information and experience from my time at Nikken Sekkei in Tokyo. Nikken is a well-known and highly regarded architect consulting group that designed the famous Skytree in Tokyo. I was a member of the 3DC department, which focused on implement the new technology with the correct process. To achieve this objectivity, so we focus the three key aspects: analysis, rationalizations, and panelization. Overall, by using BIM in these three key aspects, we were able to achieve the great efficiency and quality in our design, while also reduce the cost and minimize the error during the construction. Hey. Okay, before our outbreak of COVID-19, the Japanese government had already started asking the top 100 companies in each industry to consider allow their employee to work from home. So that is not happening during the COVID-19. So the goal was to easy traffic congestion during the very compact traffic time for the visitor or traveler when they wanted to see the Tokyo 2020 Olympics game. But it's so sad, it's postponed, and the pandemic to impact this country. So however, the pandemic sucks and the dramatic impact the way the people works. Thanks for their early preparation, Japan has to able to adapt this remote work style. Today, the smart office is no longer just a concept, but realize that it's being step by step through the continued improvement. When I was in Japan, the Nikken Sekkei office, the head office, is already like this one. Okay, the next use case is the Accelerate Village for Tokyo 2020. And it's an excellent examples of how BIM technology can be applied to the large-scale construction project. The village was designed using BIM, and technology allowed for efficient collaborations between the designer, engineer, and contractor throughout the construction process. The village is built using the wood from all over the Japan, and each unit is marked with the QR code that connect to parameter data for the inventory, movement, location, and dismanaged information. In terms of being used, the project focused on the crash detect, issue record, and divided the area to plan construction management. They set up the color rules of visualization to help site workers understand the construction process with the same situation. While this project is relevant to today's presentation, after 2020 Olympics, the wood unit would be moved to another locations, another location or area to redesign for the other function purpose. The Japan government utilized these switch ideas to fulfill the incorporate the BIM into the dynamic level. The use of BIM in Japan has been explained and involved rapidly, especially in the construction industry. The government and private company are taking steps and incorporation BIM into their workflow to improve efficiency or productivity. The Accelerate Village project is a good example for how BIM can to use the construction manager and even post-construction post-construction field. It is important to consider the object to the project before the implement BIM, but it can certain provide a significant benefit in terms of visualization, analysis, and cooperation. As we continue this advantage in technology, BIM will likely play an increased important roles in the construction industry. Okay. We're discussing a lot of digital transformation cases in the design field or like to the very big project. So the next case is like I want to highlight how they have implemented the BIM technology to the site. Obayashi 小大林组 Obayashi Group's focus on the construction phase, specific in machine workflow. They have that 3 key objectivity with the core value that is relevant their R&D project, investment, and change. The 3 words are digitalization, and digital transformation. The process involved collect the data from first, and which is quickly scan the site and transmit the picture or the video for data and filtering. The KDDI, a telecom technology company in Japan, support to the improvement this process with the signal. They combine the engineer, vehicle, and remote operate then from their head office. The Obayashi Group accumulate data on behavior error, operation, and more, then explore how to reconnect this data to generate other meaning, which is reference to us is the DX. DX means digital transformation. This Japanese government implemented the ISO 15143 in 2010, standard the worksite data exchange. So we can see that many digital transformation cases in the construction industry in Japan follow this methodology. To implement the productivity and promote work style reform in the construction industry, it is essential to utilize ICT from construction and transformation production process. Obayashi Corporation has been developing autonomous construction machine system such as the automatic backhoe system and the tower crane automatic transformation system to achieve this goal. They set up 3 goals: AI detect, automatic to task, and remote the operation. Okay, in conclusion, during today's presentation, with discussion, I share a lot of new players in like Amazon, the 4 issues that need to be overcome, and 4D methodology that different from the normal approach. The extensions of digital data and how to delivery and remote the site in construction. I would like to use the these 4 words to summary and remind you to keep them to the terms of digital transformation change. First of all is the standards. You need to standards, and if you don't have one, please refer and write one. The secondary is the plan, determines your workflow, compare with the pros and cons with others, and creating a template for everyone. Third, implement. If your team decide to the process, set starting point, review the constantly, and ensure that you are implement the change currently. The last one is solution. Any mistake, problem, and challenge should be discussed and solved with the objective in mind. List the requirement to become a good example in the future. Thanks for your listening to my presentation. And if you are interested in my fun page, I share a lot of new knowledge in this QR code.